نحمده ونصلي على رسول الكريم أما بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. The distinguished Minister of Commerce, the members of the Cabinet of Government of Pakistan, Mr. Zia Masood, distinguished members of the Afghan government, members of the Chambers of Commerce, distinguished businessmen from both Afghanistan and Pakistan, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum. It's a pleasure for me today to be with you because what geography gives us in common, history has denied us. Today, we begin a process of reversing history. Where do we begin from? Our location. Today, we're cul-de-sacs. Our potential is to become Asia's roundabout. In the next 20 years, Asia is going to be transformed from a geographical notion into a continental economy. Afghanistan and Pakistan together have the opportunity to either make this a thriving continent or to deny Asia the possibility of transformation. Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif's enlightened leadership, and I hope our common vision, I'm sure, can bring about the possibility of transformation. So let me begin with supply chains. Today, supply chains are subverted by our lack of cooperation. But I want to thank Minister Dar for having done more with Minister Zakhirwar in the last 2 days than in the last 13 years. So let's share the good news. What have we managed to achieve in the last 2 days? 95% of Afghan imports to Karachi are going to be processed in 1 day. The remaining 5% are going to be processed in 2 days. This, more than any other action, speaks about our political will to create prosperity through joint coordination and action. Railway lines are going to be dedicated. Inspection regime is going to change. 2, Afghan transport, as per Afghanistan-Pakistan trade agreement, are going to move across the territory of Pakistan as Pakistani trucks are going to move through the territory of Afghanistan. These are not small steps. I think these are major steps. So let us give them a round of applause, these 2 brilliant finance ministers. But for 200 years, Afghanistan's location has been a disadvantage. In the next 10 years, we are determined to turn our location into a critical advantage. And that means, dear Minister, that we will become the land bridge between Pakistan and Central Asia and West Asia. So let us look at the world's Global Logistical Index. The best rating is 5, only Singapore has it. Germany tries to come close, but Singapore is Singapore. When we look at ourselves from Pakistan and Afghanistan outward, the infrastructure is largely at 3. The problems are in the soft areas of tariff, trade policy, the very issues that you've spoken. So what is soft is actually become hard. What is hard is relatively soft and easier. My request to you and response to you is let us focus on really creating a supply chain framework where the obstacles are removed. What is our goal? $5 billion of trade by 2017. You know, unless we are goal-oriented, we are going to miss the opportunity. In 2002, when I became advisor to President Karzai, chief advisor to President, Pakistan's trade to Afghanistan was $26 million. In 2 years, through determined effort between our two governments then, we increased the legal exports to $1.2 billion. What global experience has shown, wealth has no limits except our imagination. So let us use the target of $5 billion as a foundation for subsequent sequential increases. This is important because if we focus on the goal of 2017, then we can work backward to understand the current constraints and the current opportunities. Gwadar, Port Qasim in Karachi are vital to us. In the past, and I hope those are bad days, our goods have been delayed as long as 8 months in Karachi. Afghan traders will tell you we have suffered $500 million in damages a year in the last years. This is what we must overcome. Because if we are going to, all our infrastructure planning, colleagues from Pakistan are dependent on a supply chain that is just going to be just in time. So your impact of reforms on these ports is more than any amount of aid that the developed world gives us. You are the source of prosperity, they are the vehicle of temporary adjustments. Because of this, we must focus on regional trade integration. This is our key concern. Second, what's our vision? We want to be first the energy corridor of the region. As soon as I took office and Minister Zakhilwal had a trip to Washington, D.C. to negotiate with the IMF and the World Bank, I asked them to reach agreement with Mr. Dar on CASA 1000. CASA 1000 now has a framework. Pakistan will have energy through Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, Afghanistan, and Faisalabad can increase its exports from 10 billion a year, hopefully to 50 billion a year. But we want to go beyond that. Afghanistan has the potential just from hydro to put 15 to 20,000 megawatts of power on the table. Power, colleagues, is a win-win proposition. And we are determined to become the trading hub for regional power. And I know you will absorb it. And I'm sure the way Minister Zakhilwal has been generous with price, you will be generous with transit and return.
Indeed.
Right? Absolutely. Second, pipelines. TAPI has been talked about. And we all know that without gas, both the engine of prosperity cannot be driven. So let us please focus together to turn TAPI into a reality as soon as possible. The good news is that our gas potential looks better by the day. The recent discoveries in Shibargan in northern Afghanistan are phenomenal. We now know that at least we have 10 times more than we thought. The geological survey that we've taken in Afghanistan is showing great potential of gas discovery, not just in northern Afghanistan, which was traditional, the heartland, but in southwestern Afghanistan, in southern Afghanistan, and in eastern Afghanistan. These discoveries could change the nature of our political economy. And that, I think, again, is extremely important for us to work together. Thirdly, in the next 6 months, we will prepare our first comprehensive national infrastructure plan. In building of railways, in completion of the ring road, and connecting our highways to our key mining centers is our key goal. But what is really heartening, each step Pakistan takes in building infrastructure, each step China takes in building infrastructure in Xinjiang, each step, each one of our neighbors brings us closer to Asian integration. And our national infrastructure plan will open up the possibility, as what Minister you very kindly highlighted, we will move rapidly on tripartite agreement with Tajikistan. We are determined to remove obstacles to trade, and Tajikistan is an excellent neighbor to us, and we are keen to provide them connectivity, and Gwadar and Karachi can eventually be the ports for Tajikistan. But we want to go beyond that. We've opened up discussions with Turkmenistan, Azerbaijan, and we are going to extend that to Kazakhstan. We are naming this the Lapis Lazuli Corridor. And the Lapis Lazuli Corridor is going to be very significant because Caspian is beckoning to all of us. Our very able Minister of Commerce, Mr. Shakir Kargar, has been instrumental in forging this, and our Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Zarar Ahmed Muqbil. So the Lapis Corridor, again, each of these steps is not to move away from South Asia, but to connect South Asia to Central Asia. And simultaneously, rest of the... So on connectivity, I hope I've said enough to make the following critical points. One, mutual economic dependence is our motto. Mutual economic dependence is going to be the key to peace and prosperity. Alone, we can strive. Together, we will thrive. And let us thrive together. Second, there is immense potential compared to the current reality. So let us turn potential into reality. Third, let's do this sequentially and deliberately by having 2 years targets and then extended to 4 years, and eventually in the next 4 years we would like together with you to form a vision of 20-year regional cooperation. That, I think, is the ultimate driver. South Asia is the least economic integrated area of the world. Afghanistan and Pakistan together can turn the transformation around that South Asia delivers its potential. And that, of course, will come sequentially. The second area is investment. I want to announce that we intend to create 3 industrial zones in northern Afghanistan for Pakistani joint investment with Afghanistan and potentially with China. One and all, please join us. We are ready to welcome you. And the reason we have chosen northern Afghanistan is because the energy availability is there. We have imported energy that is quite secure, but also the development of our energy resources in northern Afghanistan will be very rapid, as well as security environment. Afghan traders, if I can represent them, and I will, are ready to join hands with you. The other day, Minister Zakhilwal accused me in China of saying I had the wrong job. I advocate Afghan marble and Afghan saffron so frequently that he said I was the chief salesman for marble and saffron rather than just the presidency of Afghanistan. I will be the first advocate of Afghan traders and Afghan investors. I want to thank the Afghan business community today. Despite enormous hardships and difficulty, they have brought prosperity to thousands of families. They are making the difference between poverty with dignity or dignity with wealth rather than poverty. So thank you for engaging, and you can count on me as your chief advocate. Any other products that are for sale, I'll advocate. But equally, the other day, President Xi asked me how many times I'd gone to China, and I said 50, because I'd worked when my days in the World Bank. Pakistan is a country that I literally do not know how many times I've come. Probably 100 more, but at least I spent a very good year, 85, 86, when I was a professor at Johns Hopkins, studying both the madrasas and the business community and the elites. Mia Mancha is a friend from those days, and I saw many friends. And at one time I had more Pakistani friends than any other community in the world. Because of this, my message to Karachi, to Lahore, to Faisalabad, to Gujranwala, to Quetta, to Peshawar, particularly the chambers of commerce and industry, engages. You will have a very willing partner that will hear you and work with you. Let us together explore opportunities for investment, both in Afghanistan, in Pakistan, and across Central Asia and West Asia. Today, a lot of Afghan businesses have invested enormous amount of money in Pakistan, Mr. Minister. Your investment comparatively is much less because there have been obstacles. But, so my first request, allow the Afghan businessmen to thrive with their Pakistani counterparts. And then I want to invite Pakistani businesses to work with us to create joint prosperity. Peace in Afghanistan needs advocates. And there are no better advocates than the Pakistani business community. Nowhere else can you have the export market that you do in Afghanistan and Central Asia. So the livelihood of Pakistani citizens and the conditions of Pakistani workers and businesses connect with us. Studies have shown that when peace truly is established in a country, its neighboring country can have as much as 1% rate of growth. 1% rate of growth in Pakistan would lift 10 to 20 million people out of poverty. So let us together try to empower those that truly deserve it. 36.5% of our citizens have been facing stubborn poverty. And the decline in Pakistan's rate of growth pushed another 20 million under poverty. That, I think, is a very noble enterprise that together we can lift all our people to prosperity. In here, we want to make sure that a trade and investment forum exists that meets continuously, but that is both bottom-up, top-down, and sideways. Meaning that our policies should not be driven by bureaucrats alone. My proposal is that let us treat our businesses as serious stakeholders and listen to them. When the Afghan-Pakistan Trade and Transit Agreement was negotiated, a lot of stakeholders were not consulted. Had they been consulted, I think the process could have been much smoother. So a consultative set of mechanisms. Ultimately, we have the responsibility as elected officials to make policy, but we need to treat our stakeholders very seriously. What is it that we are going to do to create the enabling environment, first for our own, and of course simultaneously for our partners internationally and regionally? Our first promise is that the Government of National Unity, that my colleague and friend, Dr. Abdullah, Mr. Ahmad Masood, the Vice President, and the rest of the government, affirmed his vision of being not just business friendly, but partnering in a compact with the business community. The enabling business environment literature is not sufficient. We want a compact to treat the business community as short, medium, and long-term partners. Alone, we will not be able to change the dynamic. But together, it's extremely important to turn money into wealth. Our constraint is not money. Our people have a lot of money. Black or white, that does not depend. After all, I don't know where the Kennedys made their money from. What is significant is that money becomes capital. When does money become capital? When it's institutionalized into firm property rights. So our goal is to create, first, the property regimes, the legal environment where our business community and the international businesses that come to Afghanistan feel that there is an environment in which they can thrive. Second, we're determined, and I hope that our actions have spoken louder than any words, we will not permit corruption. We're cleaning up the banking sector, and we will clean up every single sector of the economy that is necessary for growth. So here, visas will be solved. We will provide the necessary permits for technical personnel to come. We don't know the exact numbers, again, because part of it has not been regular, but tens of thousands of Pakistanis are working in Afghanistan today. We are pleased with them, but we want to make their lives much easier. So let us create, allow our businessmen and women, and there are some really significant businesswomen in Afghanistan that I'm very proud of, and that is, again, I hope that I can elaborate a bit, that let's create particularly the possibility of businesswoman to businesswoman context. You have some formidable people from Begum Saifullah downward, so let us provide the opportunities for businesswoman to businesswoman context. The visa regimes we will tackle, and tackle it rapidly so that the technical personnel can come. Mr. Zakhilwal has spoken to me. He went at my request and visited LUMS. I want to announce that we will allocate $1 million for scholarship for Afghan students to go to LUMS, to do business management. And I hope that the Pakistani government can multiply that several-fold so we can have more opportunities. But it's really important when you have successes like LUMS that we build on it.
We will match the amount.
Mr. Dar, what's your population? You have to do it with a multiple of the population. So 6 times? 5 or 6 times at least.
Excellency, we are at your disposal.
Thank you. I'm sorry, I'm teasing you, but you know, otherwise. I think, seriously, it is very important that we build together with institutional things. What is the most significant obstacle? The underdeveloped market. Contrary to the general image that the criminal economy is our most significant challenge, and I'm not by any means underestimating that, our most significant challenge, in my judgment, is the underdevelopment of the market. I've repeatedly told my former colleagues at the World Bank and others that the private sector is not equivalent to building the market. So my request is that together we focus on developing market instruments, where market instruments are the answer. For instance, risk, assessment of risks is underdeveloped in both of our countries. Risk management instruments are in their infancy, with us non-existent, with you beginning, but not going the full length. If Pakistani businessmen are going to invest in Afghanistan, they need these instruments. What are the risks? What are the risk management instruments? How can we harness international capabilities to create the right financial instruments? After all, Mr. Minister, the answers are known. It is not that we are inventing the wheel, but it's extremely important, I think, to provide the businesses with the security of instruments that their investment can be safe, both against political risk as well as security and other risk. So it's very important in that regard. The other field is infrastructure. In the next 20 years, the work I did some years back, $35 to $65 trillion are going to be spent globally on infrastructure. And a very significant amount of this is going to be in Asia. No government can mobilize this amount of money. Recently, in some of the Asian countries, infrastructure funds have really been a success. And what I propose to you is that we jointly work together on developing of infrastructure funds. Not just to rely on the Asian Development Bank and the World Bank for their grants, but to mobilize private capital for building of infrastructure. Because the returns of this would be so phenomenal compared to waiting for grants or concessional borrowing. So a lot of instruments, a lot of opportunities lie in front of us to be able to tackle those. Let me just make a couple of more remarks, and then if there's questions, I welcome a discussion rather than just speaking continuously. We've suffered from an opportunity gap. As one of the least developed countries, we have access to markets. But the access to these markets has been theoretical. We are unable to export to Europe or to China, even though China has been giving us 97% tariff concession. Here is a comparative advantage of the Pakistani business community. The Pakistani business community, I think, has utilized these opportunities far better than we have. So we would propose, again, together, focusing on the market opportunities and then mobilizing the value chains to meet them. You spoke about supply chains. I would like to complement that with an equal focus on value chains. How do we develop the value chains simultaneously as supply chains to take advantage of these opportunities? And my last remark. We're in an unsustainable economic situation. Our imports to exports ratio are 19 to 21 to 1. We import 21 times more than we export. And our critical goal is to become an exporting nation. So what we want to work with you and work with our other partners, that's why your emphasis on a wider Central Asia framework is so important, is that how together we can arrive at strategies that instead of competing in dumping, we can arrive at joint strategy of increasing our exports regionally and globally. Let me again thank the government of Pakistan and the people of Pakistan and the business community of Pakistan for according us this welcome. And you, Mr. Minister, Mr. Sartar Aziz, Minister Dar, all, and of course, the other ministers, for being so gracious. I leave with the firm commitment and understanding that we are going to be seeing a lot of each other. You're welcome to Kabul, to Herat, to Mazar, and I'm sure soon you will be going to Faizabad and Badakhshan because the Chinese road would beckon as well. Many roads, inshallah, will come to Kabul because my concluding words are to remind you of Babur. Babur said, Kabul is the meeting point of East and West, South and North. No trader is happy to make 200%. The goal is always 400%. Kabul is welcoming you. Thank you.